Okay, welcome to the newly reconstituted discussion between Josh and I, which we now finally have a name. This took a while. The new name is Table Talk and Tumbleweed. And it took it took me a long time to come up with this.
I think part of the problem is that I will say okay to whatever you say.
That's true, you're very agreeable, stop that.
Well, this all started way back with the original Pentapalooza stuff,
Yes.
where you were the professor and I'm the TA, and so I'm happy to go with whatever the professor says, right?
Yeah.
And I know that that's not exactly the sort of power dynamic you're going for here, but
I think you're just naturally an agreeable guy.
that could be too.
But for me, I actually think the problem was we were thinking really about the content of what we do, so we were coming up with ideas about faith forward, which, some of these we had some great names, but I think I kept feeling sort of locked into a particular, I don't want to say ideology, but a particular perspective.
Yes.
And then it sort of struck me that really what we're doing is it's more of a framework. We just want to talk about this stuff because that's interesting, it's fun, it's interesting, and I think it's part of what it means to be a Christian.
And we do have that history and tradition with this table talk idea.
Yes, and that was like for me what I really liked, TTT, Table Talk and Tumbleweeds.
I had not even tracked that.
It's total alliteration.
It's absolute alliteration.
Which I love me some alliteration. But also, there is the double entendre, it's not a double entendre, but it's the double meaning of table talk. Because of course, on the one hand, the table is, the Lord's table, and that's really central to both of our traditions and to the Christian faith in general,
right.
Is the Lord's table, and we're having talk.
And we're
right?
talking about the table.
Talking about the table, yes. And then tumbleweeds, which is kind of what blows out outside. And I think tumbleweeds captures the location.
It also sometimes captures, at the risk of saying things we don't want to get on tape, the state of our minds often enough. Because the two of us will just chase after whatever looks interesting at that moment.
Sometimes our minds go wherever the wind blows.
Yes, it does.
That part is definitely true.
And I'm not sure if that was intentional, but it's definitely there.
So Table Talk and Tumbleweeds has that sort of meaning, but then of course there is this other historical meaning of Table Talk. And Luther, of course, has a whole series of volumes which are part of the collected works of Luther on Table Talk. And some of that was like him sitting around a table and talking, right?
Dinner table.
The dinner table.
Which, in his time and place, was also heavily correlated with the Lord's table.
Yeah.
You actually set a table specifically to be in this fashion that reminds you of the communion table.
Yes.
And so there is this, there's this moment where you gather together with all your friends at a meal and you realize we are just doing that same thing. We are gathered with our friends for a meal of freedom.
And so I think that Table Talk also captures the community. Sort of thinking about when you get together with friends, it doesn't really matter what you're eating. What matters is that you're there with friends and you're having, maybe a glass of wine and you're having great conversation. And after you're done, you realize, I don't even remember the meal, but I don't remember what I ate, but I remember the meal.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that so there's that sense of community that I think Table Talk captures. But also Luther in the Table Talks are specifically Luther defending his faith.
Yes.
Right? Describing why it is I believe what it is, the importance of what I believe and how I do. And so there is that additional meaning of Table Talk. In fact, as we talk about this, I cannot believe that it took me this long to come to Table Talk as the perfect name because it is so perfect.
It really is.
I mean,
it encapsulates all the things that we are hoping to
that we
put
are
out
hoping
into
to
the
do,
world.
which is yes. So Table Talk and Tumbleweeds is our opportunity to talk about our faith, the meaning of our faith, but also in this particular time and in this particular location,
Where
which
we've got
is
tumbleweeds.
We've got tumbleweeds here in rural Wyoming, where the wind blows and it blows the tumbleweeds with it. And it's not just rural Wyoming; it's eastern Wyoming. It's like just on the border with Nebraska. So this is
There's a particular set and setting in this place where we are.
Yes.
It has an awful lot of that sort of western plains, eastern slope, mountains and plains stuff, and there's a lot of that midwestern just at the edge. While at the same time, this is the frontier.
It is the frontier. And I think Tumbleweeds is also, it's not just this idea of the frontier, which Tumbleweeds I think sort of represents for people.
Despite being not American.
What?
Botanically, they came over from...
Oh, you just shut up.
Botanically, tumbleweeds are not originally American. They are
Fake
from...
news. Next thing you're going to tell me that a buffalo is a bison.
They did come over from Russia, is all I'm going to say.
Tumbleweeds, not buffalo. Not
Tumbleweeds,
bison.
not buffalo.
Okay. Sorry. No, I mean, and I think in some sense, the tumbleweeds then becomes really emblematic of where we are in this place.
Yes.
Right? Because, you know, there's that kind of, you know, every Western you see where it's the old town and there's a tumbleweed rolling up it.
There must be one.
There must be one. So tumbleweeds have this sense of desolation that are associated with this, and the sense of remoteness, and the sense of barrenness.
And transience.
And transience, yes. But tumbleweeds also, I think, create a false sense, can create a false sense of emptiness, right? Because this place isn't empty, right? Because tumbleweeds are themselves a thing.
Yes.
But anyway, so I think that tumbleweeds also captures the idea that we're not really restricting ourselves to any one topic, quite clearly.
Yes.
Yeah,
but it is, when I first moved here, one of the people who was instrumental in me coming here warned me, you know, this is not the middle of nowhere, but you can see it from here. And the idea is that this is an empty place with nothing in it is just not true. This is a place that is full of people, full of stuff, full of events, full of all sorts of things, and it was like that before the town of Wheatland got here.
Yeah.
So there is not just tumbleweeds, and yet tumbleweeds are a very good sign and symbol of
Yeah.
what we are experiencing.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell people, I don't say, it's not the middle of nowhere because it's not the middle of anything. It's even 20 miles from the middle of nowhere. Which I guess would be Chugwater. But, but I think tumbleweeds, you know, there is that sort of sense that tumbleweeds, when you first look at it, suggests barrenness, but when you look closer, there's a lot going on. And I think the desert or the prairie is like that in general. And I know that when I was younger, I was, forests, I love forests. But as I got older, I really got more into what authors call the aesthetics of aridity. And the thing about that is that there's a beauty to wide open spaces.
Sure.
But also, there's life there. There's a lot of life. You just have to slow down and look more carefully. And I think that also captures kind of what we want to express about both our experiences in Wheatland, but also Wheatland itself, is that there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of vibrancy. There's a lot of intellectual curiosity. There's a lot of religious vibracity. I think I just made that word up.
I think you did too.
But you just have to look for it.
As with the prairie, you have to dig under the surface a little bit.
Yes, because there's the loud stuff up here, right? And then underneath it, there's the people that aren't going to really push their ideas on you, but they're there if you look for them.
Yes.
So this is Table Talk and Tumbleweeds.
Indeed.